Good day, Ruskin enjoyers. Hope you're right, because it's time for the predictions video. So good. Several hours ago, the Rustor rotated, and we got a pretty surprising looking Rustor. Basically, all the skins that are submitted just this past weekend, it's all for the naval update. So think like boats, sailors, pirates, lots of skins like that. So what we got right here is quite a lot of extra late picks today. So looking at all these skins, I have to sit here and question which of these skins potentially is the best investment for this week. Which of these skins might help us walk away with some sweet, delicious looking profit. So, sit back, relax, and I'll start yapping. So, we had a skin wait as long as almost 8 years to be accepted today. Sap From Hell, literally 7 years and 9 months. But we do also have some interesting collection continuations that are pretty active. Of course, Sinotype collection. But if you were to ask me, out of all these skins, what's looking to be the most reliable option in terms of a nice investment, I think I'm going to have to say Blackout HMLMG. So there's a very easy way of looking at this. Just look at all the recent Blackout skins. You might notice, hang on a minute. Okay, there's 1, there's 2. Okay, there's 3 Blackout skins that aren't doing very well. All the rest of them are doing wonderfully. So if I could just kind of explain this. You know, like Python skins in general. You know, like Custom SMG skins in general. They don't really tend to work out very well, do they? No. Well, that one's in the positive, that one's in the positive. Basically, this is to be expected with the Blackout collection. Now, at first glance with this current Rustor, I kind of wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be a quiet one. It was a late start. The Rustor rotated at like 10:15 UK time. That is late. And with the next week's Rustor, of course, being the Force Wipe Rustor, when we see the naval update actually being introduced, we're expecting an early Rustor rotation. So not as much time compared to a normal Rustor. But still, I mean, I'm not sure how much this is actually going to sell. If it only does 20 to 25,000 subscribers, again, very rough estimate at the moment, I honestly think this probably will be the only handmade LMG skin that will actually be in the positive. Because based on what I see here with the only other skins we have, they don't seem to be very in demand. But then, like we just pointed out, with Pythons, with the Custom SMGs, the Blackout ones are doing all right. Notably, because they have transparent aim sights. And this right here, yes indeed it does. So consider watching my Rustor rotation video if you can. Currently right now it's uploading. But yes, consider giving it a good watch, because when you see this for yourself, especially compared to a standard handmade LMG, oh yeah, it's quite significant. We only have 3 skins available at the moment, and that probably will be the most desired, the most sought after. Perhaps the prices are so low for the other 2 skins, because people probably sold them just so I could get that. Wouldn't surprise me. I really do believe simply because it's a Blackout weapon, it'll be okay. Based on behaviour of the recent skins, alright. Now, if you've got a question, but Hedge, what about the LR300? What about the bolt action rifle? Well, that's an LR300. Nobody loves them. And that did 56,000 subscribers. Okay. Right, so, okay, that probably makes sense. Cool. Looking at all these other skins, what potentially is also looking to be a pretty interesting investment as well. So if I was to purely emphasize, with the possibility that we might not see that many sales this week, I think I want to talk about Cel Roadsign Gloves. So consider watching the Rustor rotation video. I know, but everything is chaptered, and look what I do, because I pair this up with Reptile Hunter collection and also a budget green set. Quite some time back, we got Temple Tier 3, and we're like, oh wow, we could pair this up with this and that and save a lot of money, instead of having to spend, $400 on Forest Raiders. This right here, it's cheaper compared to the option we used, the budget set. I'm talking about the Tank Armor Gloves. So that's $5.50 at the moment, and I'll be honest with you, if I was to sit there and say, alright, we can make a nice budget green camouflage set, go spend $5.50 on Tank Armor Gloves. Does that sound right? So, okay, fair enough. But then, you also compare with the Forest Raiders and you'll see, oh wow, it's $40. So back up over to here. It is dark green. However, honestly, it's still perfectly fine to a point. At 99 cents, I don't think I'm going to complain. So, okay, well, fair enough. Not too bad. But yes, based on what I'm seeing here, it's not selling that much. Second lowest selling skin. And I should also point out, Cel collection actually rose up in price quite nicely today, simply because the gloves were accepted. Perhaps the skin creators would consider making some hoodie and pants. Maybe some tier 3. Oh, that would be pretty nice, wouldn't it? So, okay, cool, fair enough. With what I see right here, I think that can work out quite right. Again, let's say it only did like, oh no, 10,000 subscribers. Oh yeah, I'm definitely on that then. In the past, when I've showcased like some nice budget green options and all that, I did use the Cel kilt in instances, also fish kilt. I've even used just like the Reptile Hunter kilt. But that right there, in certain shade and whatnot, it's fine. Like it does stand out when you look at it during the day with Reptile Hunter, but when it's just a little bit shady, oh, suddenly you don't even notice the difference. So I do think that is looking pretty interesting. And at the end of this year, I was considering doing like a nice showcase of budget green armor, budget white armor, budget desert armor. You get the idea. And I have to consider that now. So, you know, if I'm going to make a video and I showcase it, do you reckon people will care? What do you reckon? So, yeah, I'm interested. I'm curious. I want to see how much it sells though. So do keep that in mind. So looking at all the other skins, I feel like now's probably a great time to mention Fireflies Garage Door. This took over a year to actually get accepted. When I first originally saw it a year ago, I was amazed, but I kind of questioned, oh, would that actually happen? Well, it did. Now, let me just quickly point this out. We have a lot of garage doors, with tons of them. This is number 37, but this is special, this is unique, up to a point. So, most transparent garage doors, they'll have transparency at a high level, wouldn't they? This has transparency predominantly at the very bottom. And we don't have many options in regards to that. So you might just vaguely see it right there. Again, just consider watching the rust rotation video. I know. But basically, you can build this in a certain way in which you can basically, you can see people outside your base. Like if you build with the garage door slightly above, you can just stand up, look, and you'll see feet. You'll see if any naughty individuals are literally just standing outside your base. And I know I've seen with the ways you build your bases and whatnot, that can be utilised in a very useful, very nice way. Also, it glows in the dark very nicely. It's a pleasant looking design. I think a lot of people will appreciate that. How much is it going to sell? It's $4. But then again, simply due to that price, I just can't help but assume it probably won't sell that much. I will see, but just to remind you, a great thing to compare to is the dungeon garage door of the past. So scroll. Back in 2023, we saw this being accepted, and that sold for $3.49. And, well, if I could just quickly show you its sales history. So if I go to here, there you are. Right now, this is sitting here at just about $4.50. And if I could just show you its sales history, look at that. Oh, it's been a bit funny. But it did take a while for people to truly understand that this is actually useful. This is actually a good, nice, lovely-looking, glow-in-the-dark, transparent garage door. So, okay, cool. I did do a nice comparison with this in the rust rotation, so consider giving that a good watch. It's totally up to you. But yeah, that was pricey, that was expensive, and it still went up in price. So I do believe Fireflies has a good shot. And I do believe, considering the collections are kind of in demand as well, $4, $3.50, $6. $3.74, which is kind of surprised because that's a glow-in-the-dark green sleeping bag. And of course, the small box which we got earlier this year. So they're all doing quite all right. People do like this collection. It's a bit slow considering we've got like a skin accepted like every 6 months or so on average. So honestly, I'll put a short video out tomorrow as well, so you can see it for yourself very quickly. This is impressive, and I don't think we'll see anything like this for a very long time. Fingers crossed. I know on average most garage doors have been performing quite badly. Partly due to the fact that we just keep constantly seeing more and more and more garage doors this year. Like, I kind of wouldn't be surprised if we reach up to 40. We still have Christmas. There will be Christmas garage doors being made. Do not be surprised. So, yeah. But this is interesting. It is impressive. So, keep an eye out, all right? Slow sales does make it even more interesting. Looking at all the other skins, now I'll talk about Sinotype Electric. So, of course, this is number 17. We do have an 18th on the workshop, and the skin creator did say he wants to make some sort of navy, nautical, boat-themed large box this upcoming weekend. You know, naval updates next week. December update, so okay, cool. Well, here's hoping that proposed boxes DLC won't be a problem. We still don't know what it is, but I should also point out, if I could just quickly switch over to here, if I go to items, look at this. You'll see that we have Space Station building skin right here, and we also happen to have Balloon Pack. Rust's 12th birthday is going to happen in about a week or two's time, so when we have December Force Wipe next week, we're very likely going to get 2 special DLC packs. Lovely. So, hopping back over to here, basically, we're probably not going to see whatever this box's DLC is until maybe, at the very least, I reckon February. Face Bunch doesn't like to release DLCs January time, because of course they're enjoying Christmas and Christmas break. So, okay, we at least have that time, and, you know, maybe around January time we can sell our skins at lovely prices, because of course we're expecting, well, the player counts to boom. If we see, right, if we see the player count increase ever so nicely, oh, I don't know why, you know, why would people want to turn up next week and maybe the end of next month? I don't know, maybe with a huge update coming out. Lots of very curious people will be turning up next week, and I'm hoping we go over 200,000 peak players again. There's going to be a lot of very curious people wanting to see how the boats are. They want to, you know, try out being pirates. You get the idea. Sea of Thieves and Rust. So, I think we're going to see a ton of people turning up. I do believe it's going to be like last year. Look, tons of people turning up. Lots of people turning up initially. They stuck around. And of course, at the end of December, a lot of people around the world, kids out of school, out of education, college, you get it. People aren't working as much. For a solid 2 or so weeks, end of December, first week of January, yeah, things are looking pretty sweet. So, if it stays like this and improves, oh, yeah, Rust skin prices are expected to rise up ever so nicely. And of course, best time to sell your skins. So, Sinotype collection, maybe it might be the best time to sell you around then. Or at least, you know, wait until what is the box's DLC going to be? We'll find out around then. Right then, so, okay, cool. We'll leave it at that. Again, it might just be a barter. All the skins this week are abnormal, except Señor Tomato Furnace, the Tortoise Rock, Cel Roadsign Gloves, and also, which is the last one? The L96. So do keep that in mind. And if you don't fully understand what abnormals are, consider watching the most recent abnormal barters video that you can see right here. We saw some very interesting skins last week. Like, a solid 4 of them honestly look to be very nice, interesting investments. You know what? I have to mention this. So if I could just quickly show this right now. Here you go. I probably spent about $400 buying 100 Olympus revolvers, 50 Popstar beds, 15 Reptile Hunter backpacks, and, well, 20 Sinotype drop boxes. That's for me. This was for someone else. So you might sit there and say, how on earth did you even think that might be a good idea? Watch the first 5 minutes of this video, skip ahead to the chapter where we do the bar orders, and at the end, look at me as I talk about the abnormal barter support. You'll easily realise and understand what I'm saying and why everything looked to be very safe and looked very appealing. There's a reason why I bought 100 of those revolvers, and I would have bought more if I had more funds. So, okay, fair enough. Right, so back over to here. Looking at all the other skins, what's also looking to be a pretty interesting investment. Now, I've got to be honest with you. This is the point where it's going to kind of turn and it's going to probably not be so interesting. But I will now talk about Cock Tier 3. Thank you, Face Punch. We could have had, I don't know, Temple Tier 2 or Hoodie and Pants or Thunder Gold Hoodie and Pants. No. Face Punch wants you to dress up like a cock. A chicken, a rooster. I had to say that just in case censorship. So, okay, that happened. But it does open up the door for Hoodie and Pants and Tier 2. So you'll be able to run around dressed up as a cock with your cock pump shotguns, revving it up outside someone's front door, scaring them as you whip it out. And so, yeah, anyway, by default. So as long as we see more pieces being made, it can work out quite nicely. So we've had a few weapon skins. Now, unfortunately, it's not the best, but we'll see how it goes. If we do see more clothing armor pieces being accepted, even that might, get a nice boost. So, okay, I should just move on. But yeah, if we do see boots and gloves, Tier 2, Hoodie and Pants, we could look forward to that. But it might take a while. Next week is expected to just be naval update skins, and then maybe the week after that. Second week of December, we don't know if it's a normal Rust store or if it's going to be naval skins again. And then after that, the 18th of December and the 25th of December, Christmas Rust stores. So that's how it's going to be from here and now. So keep that in mind. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how it progresses. You might not see anything until January time is what I'm saying. So, alright, cool. Looking at all the other skins, I think now I'll talk about Señor Tomato Furnace, because I got to point this out to you. I don't know how it does it. It keeps getting skins accepted. It progresses. It works out. And like the skins, they keep going up, they keep going down, they keep going up, they keep going down. It's odd. It's really odd. So you're back up into the positive again. Funny. But is this actually going to work out quite alright? if you want to get a good look at it, consider watching my rust rotation video. I know I said it like the 100th time, I know, but to get a real good look at it, it does light up quite nicely at night time. It does stand out quite nicely. He's always smiling at you. What else could you need? Well, we'll also take a look at all the furnaces that have been accepted recently, and even UFO abduction furnace is down bad. You're starting to slip. Ooh. Like last year, only 1, 2, 3 furnaces are in the positive. And how many did we get? 22. That doesn't sound very good, does it? Right, here we are. 23. 25 skins in total. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Just there you go. So furnaces don't tend to be very reliable. But would you? If you sell hardly anything, could you probably turn it around and become a nice investment? Gonna have to wait and see. Yeah, it's goofy, isn't it? Very goofy. Right, looking at all the other skins. What potentially could be a nice investment? I think now I'll probably talk about tempered bed. I've got to be honest with you though, 100%, let's do a buy order. We know we're getting potentially 2 bed skins for December Twitch drops. December Twitch rivals is going to happen, and yeah, I think I know about 6 skins in total now. And I do believe, if we quickly switch back over to here, are these the general drops? We're under the impression that yes, that must be the case. Probably. I mean, why else do we have a Twitch rivals neon sign and a sofa and wallpaper? We'll see how it goes. So, okay, cool. Take that into consideration. But yes, after just getting the Popstar bed and the Molten Visage bed, and with the expectation of potentially a Wilgen bed and Oil Ratz's bed, well, I think that's going to get stuck in the middle, and it probably will get lost in a shuffle. That is an anime girl bed. There's differences to this, okay? So I question it, but then again, a smart barder can easily work out quite alright. So, okay, cool. Looking at the other skins, I would like to talk positively about the Sap From Hell. It does look cool. It looks nice. It was made 8 years ago. It glows in the dark. What? Yeah, it does. So it looks awesome, but nobody wants to roam around at night time with a glow-in-the-dark weapon. Now, you can't really see it properly there, but it does glow, and it does look pretty bright. Yeah. It does also look really, really cool. So, props to the skin creator. Hey, one of your skins from years ago gets accepted, but I don't think people are going to be super pleased with it. Again, smart barter probably would be the way to go. But yeah, it's a lot of people would say pay to lose. Don't want to sound mean, but it is kind of truthful. Also, have you noticed the prices for all these skins? $3, $2.49, $4, $3, $1.49, $3, $3. Who can afford this? God, they're cleaning us out before we even get through Christmas. Unbelievable. Anyway, it's a bit awkward, and it's only got a standard site, so we'll see how it goes. Tortoise Rock, hey, you're looking pretty funny. You're looking pretty cool. A lot of people did take a liking to it initially, but please be aware. Of all the naval-themed skins we saw being submitted just this past weekend, there was tons upon tons upon tons of rock skins being submitted. Lots of navy, sailors, pirates, boat-themed skins being produced, but also lots of things from the ocean. Conch rock. Right, I'm sure you've seen Castaway. Wilston. I want it. So yeah, you got that. You got like a seagull. You got a fish that'll suck your thumb. What? You got a fish that will suck your thumb. All right, take that into consideration. So what I'm saying is there are other options that could be accepted next week that could easily just take away all the attention from that. He's fine. It's just $2.49, and well, no issues or problems. Maybe we'll see like a tortoise collection being made. Someone suggested a tortoise shell backpack. That's clever. So we'll see how it goes, but look at all the rock skins from like the past year and last year, and the year before that. How many of them are in the positive? Not enough. Not enough for me to be a little bit more confident. So, okay, cool. Now, looking at the remaining skins, so now I'm going to talk about probably all 3 of them. The Thompson, the L96, and the full SMG. Oh, I mean, I'm not feeling very confident with another Thompson at the moment. And we do know we're getting another Twitch drop Thompson on the horizon, okay? I might have shown it off in the Rust rotation video. Consider looking at the chapters. You can skip ahead, just saying. So, okay, understood. It's pretty pricey at $3. And then you look at the factory new collection as well, and you'll see for yourself that that's not in demand. Well, look at it. Sorry to say, but that's just the answer. So you can keep an eye on it if you want, but I don't think that'll be retaining its $3 price. At the very least, halving down, wouldn't be surprised. Sorry to say, but yeah, looking at all the other recent Thompson skins, they don't seem to be as reliable as they used to be. Bird of Luck L96. So Bird of Luck collection, very nice, very pretty, very vibrant colours, but as you can notice, oh dear, down 71, down 32, down 61, and down 62. So, weapon loaded collection. And then L96s as of recent, give that a week, it'll go down below its rust store price. Out of all the skins, every single one of them is in the negative, funnily enough, except the Blackout one. I'm just saying. So anyway, yeah, even the recent Black Diamond dropped off, Abyss dropped off hard. Dear God, ooh, that's what happens when you get a focused item of the month. But also, L96s in general, they're already like that. They weren't very in demand. So I don't think it's going to retain that $2 price, I'm sorry to say. Fault Custom SMG, I mean, where do I even begin? Look at it. Ooh. How many of these are in the positive? Well, in recent times, 0, except a certain one right there, a Blackout one. Wasn't joking. So yeah, Custom SMGs are very unreliable, and whilst it looks nice, I don't trust it as an investment. Sorry to say. Being very straightforward with you. And for last, Forge Sheet Matador. It's just not lining up very nicely. Garage Door dropped off, went down by about half its price very quickly. I don't think the Sheet Matador is going to make that much of a change. They do look nice, they're very bright, they are noticeable at night time, but unfortunately, Sheet Matadors, they're just not reliable. Do you remember earlier this year when we got the Nuke Vibe Garage Door and then Sheet Matador? Well, that Sheet Matador is now down by 68%. Do you remember the All Seeing Eye collection started off with a Garage Door, then we got a Sheet Matador? Yeah, it's right there. It's down 54%. Oh look, Forged Sheet Matador. We had the Garage Door first, now we have a Sheet Matador. I think you might have figured it out by now, so okay. Sheet Matadors are unreliable investments. Oh, well, there you go. That's everything. So we'll see how everything turns out in regards to like the sales and all that. Sales do have an impact. If it's very quiet this week, okay, things might turn around and be a whole lot more interesting. We'll see how it turns out. So cool. Right, so we've already pointed out that the naval update is next week. You have to get a tier 2 workbench. Damn, it might be a bit hard. So, alright, cool. Brand new space station building skin has been made, and apparently we're also getting a weapon. Does it go with it, or is it separate? We'll find out. And then Artist DLC pack. Well, that probably won't be coming out until probably, well, maybe Christmas. Remember, they did release the Warhammer pack with Halloween, so maybe we could still see something around Christmas time. We'll consider it, right? We'll consider it. So, Artist DLC pack with the paintball gun. We'll see what happens there. But for proper DLC, I bet we probably won't see anything until February, because they don't like to release things around January time. So, okay, that's it. That's everything. Here's all the skins, and as you might notice, almost 8 years on the workshop, Sap From Hell had almost 150,000 views. It has almost 100,000 upvotes. If you're going to question it, just look at that, and yeah, how could you question someone like that? So, okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Right then, so is there anything else to address? Well, I should also point out, if you want to be more aware of all the naval theme skins, so as I said, boats, pirates, sailors, lots of interesting themes. If you want to go see it all for yourself, if you want to listen to Hedge yap about all of it as well, consider watching my Rust Workshop skin checks for November 25, 2025, and it'll keep you aware of all the potential skins we could see potentially being accepted. Now, I should also point out, this upcoming weekend, we very likely will start seeing a whole lot more Christmas skins being produced. They have to be submitted by the 9th of December. So I bet you we'll probably see about half of the skin creators submitting them this weekend, and then the other half doing it the next weekend. Don't be surprised by that. I can't confirm some more skins have appeared, but we're probably hoping for a whole lot more. This weekend, keep an eye out. Sorry, losing my tongue. It's late. Sorry about this, but yeah, there will be more skins, and hopefully we see some interesting collection continuations. I do want to bring this up from VHS tonight. I love the Cel Rock. Have you been good this year? No. Cole. Right, well, there you go. That's everything. So, yep, keep an eye on the sales. We'll see how it progresses. You can use rusthelp.com, SCMM, or Skinlytics. You can use them to keep yourself up to date and all that. and we'll see what next week is going to be like. How many curious people are going to turn up and see like the brand new update and all the boats and whatnot? And will it keep the momentum throughout the month? But when we see a lot of people return home and whatnot at the end of the month playing Rust, will we have a better average player count compared to the previous year? That will be very, very interesting. A strong December led to an amazing January, all right? This is the hope. This is what we want to see. So let's just remain a little bit more hopeful. Right then, best of luck to each and every single one of you. Have a lovely weekend, and yeah. Oh, one final thing. Next week, and I very likely will be trying to stream on YouTube as well, the Jingle Jam charity event. So there's a medieval Rust Armada event that's associated with the Jingle Jam. So this event will be taking place over the course of 4 days. Next Thursday, so December 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, those 4 days. You can watch Hedge if you want to. If you thought, Hedge, are you good at this game? Oh, well. We can count how many times Hedge drowns during the whole event. Let's go with that. I can assure you, you'll at the very least be entertained. Maybe not by skill, but, you know, a different type of skill. So we'll see how it goes. So, yep, that's it. I'll put that link for this tweet in the description, along with some other things that we discussed today. And that's it. That's a wrap. So thank you very much for watching the video. I greatly appreciate it. Best of luck with you and your investments. And soon, we can have a bit of a break, because once it's Christmas skins, we don't really invest in them. So, yeah, okay, cool. Catch you later. Goodbye.